I've taken well over 100 flights and still look forward to every single one. It's uninterrupted time to watch movies, read, eat, sleep, think, or whatever the heck you like to do. It could also be rather terrible with you feeling anxious and trapped at 30,000 feet in the air if you aren't prepared. Let's avoid that. Here are 10 super easy, simple things that you can do to make your next flight the best flight. This first point is so important. Once you find your seat, make sure that you store your carry-on luggage in the bin directly above you or in front of you. Trust me, when it comes time to get off the plane, you do not want your luggage to be stuck in an overhead bin behind you, because you will need to wait for all of those people that are sitting further back to get off the plane before you are able to go back there, get your carry-on luggage, and deplane yourself. And before you even board the plane, make sure you pack your carry-on strategically with a mini carry-on. This is going to be the best way to optimize the space at your seat. I always have a small bag inside my main carry-on with things that I want for the flight. This includes my phone, eye mask, earplugs, water bottle, snacks, gum, toothbrush, toothpaste, and headphones. So grab your mini carry-on, store your larger carry-on in the overhead bin, and get cozy without that big bag taking up all of your foot space. Speaking of headphones, you are going to want to bring wired headphones with you. I know, who still has wired headphones these days when we're all carrying around these AirPods? The answer should be you, especially if you plan to fly in the near future, because they are not always given out for free on flights these days. So if you do want to use the entertainment device on the seat back and watch all of the new movies, you will need to bring your own set of headphones or be prepared to pay at least $5 for a pair of rather terrible headphones, like I did on my last flight last week from Cancun to Dubai. $5 for these. And the headphones that you buy on the plane end up having two prongs. You do not need headphones like this. The prong actually folds down and then you plug into the entertainment device with just one. So any old pair of wired headphones that you can pick up before your flight with just one prong like this is going to work just fine with the seatback entertainment system. Also, these headphones that I got from Eurowings on my flight from Cancun to Dubai last week were also extremely terrible, and I could barely hear anything that I was watching on the screen until I took noise-canceling headphones and put them on top of the earbuds. So if you fly often, tip number 4 is to invest in a pair of noise-canceling headphones. Even if you don't want to watch a movie, you can put them on top of your AirPods to cancel out airplane noise, or you could even put them over earplugs to get some sleep or meditate and hear absolutely nothing around you. If you don't already own a pair of noise-canceling headphones, check out a used marketplace like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and see if you can get a pair used at a cheaper price for your next flight. You also don't want to be relying on a backseat entertainment system to keep you occupied during your flight. Not that many great movies have come out over the past few years, and many budget airlines don't even have TV screens for you anymore. If you are signed up to one of the 100 streaming services like Disney Plus or Netflix, you can download movies or episodes of your favorite shows to your phone, your tablet, or your laptop to watch offline. If you do want to download any content, make sure you do it before you leave your home. The free Wi-Fi that you can connect to at the airport is probably not going to allow you to download content, especially not at the speed that you would need it to while you're waiting to board your flight. In addition to movies and TV shows, you can also consider downloading podcasts or audiobooks to your phone. Something else I like to do is to download actual books. It's a nice backup to have books, audiobooks, and podcasts available, even if you end up watching a movie 90% of the time. Comment down below what the last movie was that you watched on an airplane. I watched Cruella. It was cute. I like Emma Stone. Something else to know if you are flying this year that wouldn't have been a problem a few years ago is that you need to bring the correct charging cord with you that is going to accept USB-C if you plan to charge your phone or any other devices while you're on the plane. And since so many of us are going to be relying on our phone to show documents or even to book an Uber when we arrive, you're probably going to want to charge your phone during the flight. Every airplane I have ever been on has a USB-C charging port, so that means that your charger has to look like this. USB-C. This is important to know and plan ahead for if you do have a fancy USB-A charging cord for your phone like I do. In addition to the standard USB-C charging slot, there is also a plug that is often found underneath your seat, so you could always bring a plug with you and then charge your devices that way as opposed to using the USB-C charging slot. On my most recent flight, the under-seat plug did not actually have any power running through it, and the flight attendant let me know that it's very common for these to be out of order. In this case, I also had an adapter that was going to adapt USB-C-A to USB-C, at which point I could charge my phone. If you're curious about what plugs and amenities you're going to have at your exact seat on your specific flight, definitely check out SeatGuru. SeatGuru is a free website that's going to show you exactly what you're going to have at your seat to help you prepare for your flight. Something that surprised me on a recent flight from Cancun to Frankfurt was that there were no blankets provided, even though the cabin temperature still went sub-zero. The next tip is to prepare for all temperatures by dressing in layers. I often even bring a winter toque with me, even if I'm flying from one warm destination to another. Depending on the airline that you're flying with, it really can get that cold while you're up in the air. Even though there were no blankets available, those little pillows were still provided at every seat. If you haven't tried putting it on your lower back, very nice. Try it. I have also noticed that airline food is going downhill, and sometimes even on long-haul flights, not even provided to you for free. So instead of paying $15 for a disappointing meal on the airplane with a very limited selection, I would recommend that you pick something up at the airport that you love and then bring it on the plane with you instead. You can bring any food or drinks purchased after the airport security checkpoint with you right onto the plane with no limits or restrictions. You can also bring food and snacks from home, but remember that they will need to go through airport security, at which point they're subject to the liquid limit. So you will need to make sure that any food items brought from home are not considered a liquid by TSA security. So this could be obvious things like soups, but also less obvious things like mashed potatoes. I don't know who considers mashed potatoes a liquid, but you probably can't bring it through security. Once you're up in the air and the seatbelt sign has been turned off, make sure you get up and walk around at least every couple of hours. There are often spaces in between the cabins where you have some room to do a little bit of stretching as well. Trust me, you will feel so much better after a long flight if you just take a few minutes every few hours to get some movement in. A bonus is that you can walk around and see if there are any better seats for you to snag that potentially have a free row with them. And one of my favorite things on many long-haul flights is that at the back of the plane, there is often a refreshment station with snacks, water, and various other drinks available for you to grab. So take a walk to the back of the plane and you might be pleasantly surprised by what you find there. And even if there's nothing there, well, you got some steps in and you're going to feel better when you land. This next one is a good one too that you may not think about. Set an alarm on your phone for about 2.5 hours before you land. You'll want to set the alarm for about 2.5 hours before you land because it's about 2 hours before landing that the airplane lights are going to turn back on, drinks are going to be served, and everyone is going to be waking up. And once everyone is waking up, getting these drinks, getting ready for landing, they are all going to be rushing to the bathroom. By having an alarm set for 2.5 hours, you have that extra 30-minute window where you can get up, brush your teeth, freshen up, use the washroom before the rush of everyone else trying to do the same thing. There are so many more tips that I would love to cram into this video, but I will cut it off there for today. Leave an airplane emoji down below if you made it all the way to the end. I see you. I appreciate you. And then I hope you'll subscribe so you can join us back here for more travel tips next week. Safe travels, and I'll see you soon. Bye.